Good evening. This is All India Radio Kohima. I'm Jonas Yantan with Evening News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for universal cooperation to make the world a better place. Senior Citizens Association Nagaland claims that NSCN-IM has taken complete occupation of Intangki National Park. External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar asserts peace in border areas the basis for normal relations between India and China. And Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia says civil aviation sector must be democratised. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said it is time the world comes together against threats of drug trafficking, terrorism, cybercrimes and poaching. He said there is a need for early detection and warning systems to ensure these threats can be minimized, saying when threats are global, the response cannot be local. Modi said this while addressing the 90th Interpol General Assembly in New Delhi today. The Prime Minister said terrorism has developed a new form of online radicalism and digital fraud, and each nation is working on developing strategies to address this form of terrorism. He also said there are diverse legal and procedural frameworks to eliminate all forms of corruption, organized crimes, poaching and terrorism, and together the world can achieve the target of the eradication of terrorism. Modi also talked about combating corruption, saying the corrupt take money from the poorest and then push them into illegal activities. He said there is a need to combat this forcefully and fully. He said the police and law enforcement agencies need to devise procedures to increase global cooperation, and Interpol can play an important role in this. Senior Citizens Association Nagaland (SCAN) claimed that the Intangki National Park has been completely occupied by the NSCN-IM and that the Forest Department officers have to seek bribe permission from the NSCN-IM to enter into the park. The members of the senior citizens said this today during a press conference held at Kohima. SCAN also pressed charges on the state government under the present leadership of Chief Minister Niperio for complicity and for compromising the interest of the people of Nagaland by allowing the NSCN-IM to take over complete control of the park. The senior citizens filed an RTI through the Public Information Officer of the Governor's Office on 14 September 2020. It was redirected to Chief Secretary Nagaland and further forwarded to PIO Environment, Forest and Climate Change Department. The members said on 12 October 2022, Director Intangki National Park furnished a vague, evasive reply to the RTI questionnaires. SCAN said the Office of the Chief Information Commissioner took the initiative by bringing the Forest Department and SCAN for a face-to-face hearing on 7 September 2022 to review the issue. SCAN, while highlighting the RTI response, said there was no vacation order issued to the staff of the Forest Department to vacate their quarters. SCAN, however, said, on being further questioned by the court, revealed that the staff quarters of the department were now under physical occupation of the NSCN-IM and continued to be till date, and to which the Forest Department confirmed it to be a fact. The senior citizens also said there has been a series of logging activities taking place inside the national park without any environmental clearance issued by the government. Further, SCAN asked all Nagas of Nagaland not to remain silent on the issue, adding that the state government is clandestinely selling the rights of the younger generation and their future. External Affairs Minister Dr. S Jaishankar has asserted that peace and tranquility in the border areas clearly remains the basis for normal relations with China. The minister stated this while delivering the keynote address at a conference on China's foreign policy and international relations in the new era in New Delhi. Dr. Jaishankar added, the continuation of the current impasse will not benefit either India or China, and new normals of posture will inevitably lead to new normals of responses. Dr. Jaishankar said it is the willingness to take a long-term view of their ties that the two countries must display today. The minister said that India's search for a more balanced and stable relationship with China takes it across multiple domains and many options. This news comes to you from All India Radio, Kohima. You can also listen to this news bulletin on News on Air app and YouTube channel AIR News Kohima. Union Minister for Civil Aviation Jyotiraditya Scindia has said that the civil aviation sector must be democratised and it must be for the common man. Addressing the Conference of the Ministers of Civil Aviation of States and Union Territories in New Delhi today, Scindia said that a consistent effort of the government is to concentrate on the development of airport infrastructure in smaller cities, which will be the new growth areas in the days to come. He said under the Uday Desh Ka Am Nagrik Udan, which was launched in 2016, 70 new airports have been constructed and more than 1 crore passengers travelled. The minister said passenger growth rate increased from 31% during the period from 2015 to 2020, which reflects new growth in the sector. Sri Lankan author Shehan Karunadilaka won the 2022 Booker Prize for his second novel, The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida. Booker Prize is one of the most prestigious literary works and awards in the world. 47-year-old Karunadilaka becomes the second Sri Lankan to win the prestigious £50,000 literary prize at a ceremony in London on Monday night after Michael Ondaatje, who won for The English Patient in 1992. The Seven Moons of the Mali Almeida tells the story of the photographer of its title, who in 1990 wakes up dead in what seems like a celestial visa office. Chair of the 22 Booker judges, Neil MacGregor, said the judges particularly admired and enjoyed in The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida the ambition of its scope and the hilarious audacity of its narrative techniques. Mizoram Minister of State for Sports and Youth Services, Tourism, Information and Communication Technology, Robert Romavia Rote, today opined that it should be made mandatory on the part of all institutes to integrate sports into the entire educational curriculum, as only fit people can be productive and successful. He was addressing the All Nagaland College Students' Union collegiate meet under the theme Metamorphosis at Sakus Mission College, Dimapur. Mentioning the National Education Policy 2020, he said that significant importance has been given to sports in the policy, for which all states are in the process of preparing to cope with new challenges ahead. Taking the reference of the state of Mizoram, Rote said their government is committed to make Mizoram state state and fittest people in the country. Lauding Nagaland state for winning Under-17 Suproto Cup, he added that the victory is a clear sign of football talents and potential in Nagaland. Rote also emphasized that Nagas have talents in archery, wrestling, football, among others, and should wake up at a call of winning the Suproto Cup 2022. The Election Commission of India has invited all media houses to submit nomination for National Media Award 2022 for Best Campaign on Voters' Education and Awareness. The submissions are in print media, electronic television, electronic radio and online internet or social media category. The nomination should be submitted to the Chief Electoral Office or directly to the Election Commission of India before 25th November. The entries, if in any language other than English or Hindi, will require an accompanying English translation, failing which it will be subject to rejection. The jury will use only first 10 minutes of features or program for entries in broadcast material. Further entries are directed to carry name, address, telephone, and fax numbers and email of the media house. The awards will be presented on National Voters' Day on 25th January 2023. The entries can be submitted to Love Kush Yadav, Under Secretary Communication, Election Commission of India, Nirvachan Sadan, Ashoka Road, New Delhi, 110001, or email the media television@eci.gov.in. And now to the news, here are the main points again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls for universal cooperation to make the world a better place. Senior Citizens Association Nagaland claims that NSCN-IM has taken complete occupation of Intangki National Park. External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar asserts peace in border areas the basis for normal relations between India and China. And Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia says civil aviation sector must be democratised. That is all we have in this evening news bulletin. Good night.